All right, last video here on just straightforward solving of inequalities. I wanted to do a couple of multi-steps just because I wanted to make sure we had a couple of just, big ones that had lots of numbers and lots of letters and fun stuff like that. So let's go ahead and start. The first one here is going to be 3a minus 2 times, with the parentheses, 6a minus 4, and this is all going to be greater than 4 minus 4a plus 6. All right, now if this were an equation, if it had an equal sign instead of an inequality, what would be the first thing you would do? Well, hopefully you would get rid of the parentheses, because that's usually one of the best things to do. Get rid of those parentheses so that you don't have those strange things happening. So first thing I'm going to do, the 3a is still 3a. This minus 2 is going to get distributed to the 6a and to the negative 4. So negative 2 times 6a would be negative 12a. Negative times the negative would be positive, so 2 times 4 is positive 8. This will be greater than 4. Now here I'm going to distribute the minus. That will be treated as a negative 1. So negative 1 times 4a will be minus 4a, and negative 1 times positive 6 will be minus 6. Okay, now from here we want to put all the letters on one side, all the numbers on the other side. I think since I got a big negative a over here, I'm going to go ahead and maybe even I'll just put the letters together on this side. So 3 minus 12 would be negative 9a plus 8. On this side, we'll put the numbers together. So that's a positive 4 and a negative 6. So that would be negative 2 minus 4a, right? So I put the like terms together on each side. And then you want to put all the a's together, right? If you got a's on both sides of the equation, you got to get them together. It doesn't do you any good to have an a on both sides. So let's go ahead and move them. I see that this one is a really big negative, so I'm actually going to add a 9a to both sides. Okay, you got to get all of the variables on the same side if you've only got one letter there. So now I'm going to end up with 8 is greater than negative 2. Negative 4 plus 9 is positive 5a. Now we can add the 2. That will give us 10 is greater than 5a. Now we can divide, right? From this, it's exactly the same as what we were doing earlier. 2 is greater than a. If you don't like how that looks, if you want the a on the other side, you can put the a on the other side there and the 2 on the other side. You can switch their places, but remember the smaller part of the sign is towards the a, the larger part towards the 2. We want the 2 to be bigger than the a, or the a to be less than the 2. All right, draw your number line. Here's my 0, here's my 2. A needs to not include 2, but then be everything less than 2. And there it is right there. All right, let's do another one since we got another minute or so. So let's take another inequality, another big one with lots of numbers and letters and stuff. So here we go. Let's go 8 minus 2 times b plus 1 is less than or equal to 12 minus 3b. Okay, again, the first thing we want to do is get rid of those parentheses. So use distributive property. So 8 minus 2b and minus 2. The negative 2, you want to distribute that whole thing. Otherwise, you still got that minus out there, which you're then going to have to distribute afterwards. So distribute both of them. Okay, again, I'll put together like terms on each side just because that's going to simplify things. So I've got a positive 8 minus 2 here. So 8 minus 2 is 6. So I've got 6 minus 2b less than or equal to 12 minus 3b. Okay, go ahead and put all the b's on the same side. You got to have all the variables together, right? So we're going to move one of these to the other side. You can either add a 2b or add a 3b. It doesn't matter. I'm going to go ahead and add this one this time. Again, the reason because that's a bigger negative number. I want to get rid of the negatives if I can. So that'll be 6. Negative 2b and positive 3b will be a positive 1b less than or equal to 12. Subtract the 6. And I've got b is less than or equal to 6. Put it on your number line. 0, 6. This time it can be equal to 6, so we're going to include it. And then less than. Now, please remember that at any given time, you can check these by plugging in a number, right? Choosing a number less than 6, plugging it up here, and making sure it works.